Hello everyone and welcome to Crimson Valley Zoo. So this is a brand new zoo that I've started to make and it will actually be, apart from the Australian zoo that I kind of did to an extent on the channel already, this will be the first time I've made my own zoo from scratch, including all the enclosures, all buildings, everything, like into a whole proper big zoo. So this will be a new series for the channel, in addition to the recreation, the Whipsnade recreation, Planet Zookeeper series that I've been doing as well, and my other random build showcases and things like that. It will be a regular series. I have started and done a fair amount, as you can see. I've been building it so far a bit on Twitch and some just off camera completely. So if you follow me on Twitch, you probably will have seen a little bit of me building some of these bits already, or if you're on my Discord server, links to all the things that I mentioned will be in the description. Then you probably have seen some screenshots and photos and things like that. So yeah, as I said, this is a brand new zoo for me, and all completely my own creation, my own design. Still using a lot of inspiration from real zoos, real buildings, things like that. Yeah, my aim is to make it pretty realistic if I can. There'll be some elements that are a little bit more out there, but in general that'll be the kind of aim. So as you can see, I've laid a lot of it out. So I thought what we'll do for this first episode, I want to keep the episodes relatively short. I don't want to go on for too long, so I'll kind of cut off. What we've got here will probably be at least 4 episodes. So today we'll focus on the entrance area, so we'll kind of go up to this point, so this portion here. So we'll also just have a look now before we start at the overview. So yeah, it's all relatively laid out. Things will change. We might expand certain areas, we might make some enclosures smaller once we start building, and it might look like they're too big. And obviously we hopefully will be getting some more DLCs at some point, so I will try to incorporate new animals as and when they become available. This zoo, I have planned to put all the new aquatic animals in, since we've just got them, plus a couple of species from previous DLCs as well in there. So yeah, the main overview I'll just go through briefly of what we've got so far. So obviously car park areas down here, the main entrance building, and then the main plaza. The zoning and sort of area design is fairly loose. There's a few areas that have certain themes to them. So we have got a South American area here. We've got a lot of hoof stock and things around this area, which is a fairly loose kind of grouping. We've got some cats, quite a few different species of cats around this area. I'll zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see some labels. And then this area around here is going to be kind of islands area, so a few different species from various different island nations or specific islands. We have got a kind of water area here. We'll have a lake with a couple of species around there, and then we'll have the aquatic area and some smaller enclosures around this area, as well as our education building and offices, big yard area, and then we've got elephants up there, big area there, and then this portion, which will be camels, but it will also be an overnight accommodation area, sort of Mongolian themed. So that will be this little section here. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty well laid out, but the themings are relatively loose. As we expand on things, we might make a bit more of an effort to make them more themed, but those are the general kind of areas that we've got planned. There, as you can see, there is a mixture of animals we have in game, as well as a fair amount of implied species as well in black, the ones we've got in game in white. So I quite enjoy doing implied enclosures, and I think in terms of making a realistic looking zoo, it would be nice to have some of these smaller species, some more birds, things like that, that will pad it out a little bit more. So we will do a lot of them, but we'll try and make sure we don't focus too heavily on them constantly, so there's not many animals to see. So that is a rough overview. So now we'll just have a look in detail at this portion down here just to start with, and then probably next episode we'll have a look at this section, and then the following one we'll look at that bit. But yes, so this is Crimson Valley Zoo. So this is the main car entrance. Originally I had the zoo in pink, but I changed it just today to make it actually crimson according to the proper hex code, so that is crimson colour. Just the time with the name, because I did think it actually looked a bit silly to be a different colour to crimson when it's called Crimson Valley. So this is the main entrance for cars. So the main car park over here, all tarmacked. We've got some trees and things in planters in certain areas in between, as well as the ends of a couple of these rows. A little bit of lighting, but not overkill on lighting. All these lot are normal car parking spaces, standard ones. We've got a row of disabled parking down there, and then a few staff parking areas over there, but we'll have more staff parking in the near the offices at the back, as I showed earlier. We also have a little pedestrian entrance over here, which is where our spawner is. Our guest spawner actually is down here. So they do walk through the car park, but we can't really help that. It's be a bit hard to make them walk all the way around there. So all one way, all goes round in this direction. The cars will go down that way, and then we've got one loop that goes all the way around the edge. So beyond here is the drop-off zone. So we've got a coach drop-off over here, and then we do also have a car drop-off. That goes all the way round down here. A few more little spaces along the edges there where it's a bit wider, and some planting. And then down here we have the coach parking, a few spaces there. Then in this portion we have the overflow. So this is a little bit more rustic. We've just got some gravel pathing and some rows along there, and then just grass for the actual parking of the cars in these rows and just around the back there. I've used a lot of these vehicles that we have in game just to demonstrate for scale and that sort of thing, but I may eventually swap them out for some cars that are made from the workshop, just to make it look a little bit less uniform, a bit more normal. But yeah, so just a little extra overflow car park over here, all planted and stuff around the edges to blend it in a bit better. We may do some stuff around the outside of the zoo, so we have got a perimeter around the outside, but that doesn't mean we can't change that as and when it develops. So the idea of this was that the car park was a bit lower down than the actual zoo, so the zoo was almost slightly on a hill compared to the rest of the map, or the car park at least, and then there's a slope that goes up to the main level. So we have ended up with this dugout portion because I wanted the entrance to be sideways to the kind of normal map. So this is where the original zoo entrance was, down here, and I made it so that the entrance is that direction to the right. But yeah, we have got this dugout bit, but if this was a real zoo, then this lot would be flatter. It would be probably a gentle slope up again, or something like that, but we've covered it up with some trees, so you can't tell too much. So, after guests go through the car park, or via the pedestrian entrance, they will come to this, which is the main entrance building. So we've got Crimson Valley Zoo up there. So as you saw, I did make a smaller version of this, and eventually I decided to make a big version. So originally I had the big version but minus the giraffe, because I liked the idea of the giraffe's head poking and neck poking through the R in that smaller sign that I made, which I was really happy with. But when it came to making a bigger version, obviously that classic giraffe that I used, which is a piece in the game, I couldn't use because it was so little. I did originally put a different species. I had some sable antelope on here, but I wasn't really happy with it. I liked the idea that there was a continuous theme and a continuous logo all the way through the zoo, in the main entrance, as well as the smaller signs that will be dotted around. So I managed to make a larger version of the classic giraffe sign, which took quite a while. I kind of had to, there's probably a word for it, but I put the classic giraffe in the foreground here and effectively projected it onto a bigger background. Using the new font pieces, managed to sort of make an outline from the foreground giraffe, so that I was then left with a background big giraffe, and I'm much happier with it. I like the way that it matches. So that is the main entrance. So we've got our ticket booths over there on the main wall, with these sort of posts, and can't remember what they're called, but you know what they are. These sort of queue systems, made a few of them. So that is our main ticket area, with some custom kind of stuff on the front, this wooden sort of panelling, slate panelling kind of thing. We've got some planting and stuff around the front just to break it all up a bit, some windows, and then over here's the main entrance, a few benches and bits around, lots of planting, because I'm quite into the planting. So main entrance, we've got prepaid and members entrance there, just for people who want to skip the big queues at the front. Lots of lighting and stuff, and this big bank all planted up. This area is not complete yet actually, and that will be the kind of guest services area, where we'll probably have like membership or people who want to ask questions, that sort of thing, in there. So I'll get to that at a later date. And then we have the main actual entrance systems, and underneath here we have the toilets and some vending machines as well, just for now to keep the guests a bit happier. And then that is the main slope up to the main plaza, which we'll go into next episode. So that's kind of it for that part of the building. So if we turn around so I don't show you too much of the plaza, you can see that we've got the roof, which is kind of partly green roof, and then a bit of flat roof there, and then a slightly different design for this half of the roof. Up the top here, this not finished will be the gift shop in here, and probably a small cafe of some sort in this little portion here, sectioned off with the path, and then the the tills even will be over there, and yeah, will be the main gift shop area. And then the exit through the gift shop will be here, obviously all undercover with this bit that sticks out, and these support beams, ramp and stairs over there, and that is the exit. We've also got this little path that goes down the side. I'll probably make some sort of gate for this, so that it looks a bit fancier, but just a little service path that goes down the side there as well. So I think that is everything for this episode, for the main entrance. As I said, I don't want to go too much into all this stuff. We'll probably save that for another one to keep the episodes a little bit shorter. Planting wise, as you can see, there's a lot of heavy planting. Like this bank, I wanted to make it quite nice and lush in there, and all the way around, to be honest. I don't have a specific location for the zoo. It is built on a North American grassland map, but that's not necessarily where I want it to be. I kind of chose grassland and then slightly regretted it, and should have done temperate, I think, because I wanted more green grass rather than yellow grass. But it's not the end of the world, I'm kind of dealing with it. I'd kind of done too much to go back on it by the time I decided I wasn't as keen on it, so we're left with this, but we're working with it, as I said. So I'm not going tropical with it, so I'm not using any tropical plants unless they're in specifically tropical areas where they've been planted particularly for there. But a lot of coniferous trees mixed in, like the pines, a few fir trees and things, as well as a lot of these deciduous sort of broadleaf ones, a lot of ferns and things like that, the willow bush, sage bush, nettles, things like that as ground cover basically. So yeah, that's kind of the themes that I'm going for really for this zoo. So that, I think, is everything. So if you want to keep up to date with this new series, so next time we'll explore this little area that I've done there, which is the plaza. We've got hornbills, meerkats, another aviary down there, and I'll probably incorporate the zebras, possibly aardvarks, which we've got behind as well. And then in the following episode we'll probably look at the South American area, which is there, and that has just a couple of bits that I still need to do in there. So yeah, as I said, this will be just showcase videos for different areas as I go through on YouTube. If you want to watch any live building of this, then you can follow me on Twitch, where I will every now and then be doing builds on there. And you can also join the Discord server, where I'll probably be posting screenshots, things like that, from builds, either stuff that I've done in stream or stuff that I've just been doing off stream, just to keep you guys updated, give you little previews, things like that of what I've been doing. If you liked what you've seen so far today, then please leave a like and comment if you have any thoughts, if you have any suggestions or ideas, things that you might like me to incorporate or that might be a good idea to put in here. Then leave any suggestions below. Obviously, as I said, it's relatively laid out, but we can always chop and change things, move things around, add bits in, take bits out, all of that stuff. I'm also planning to try and do what I have seen quite a few people do, and upload the zoo to the workshop every now and then, so people can come in and actually explore it for themselves. If you think that would be something that you're interested in, then leave a comment below and let me know that is useful. So yeah, if you want to look at my workshop page, I'll also be uploading various things from the zoo as well, like the bigger giraffe sign, things like that. There's a few birds that I made in here as well, so all that sort of stuff, plus the zoo itself, hopefully when I get it on there for the first version of what I've got. Probably it'll be whatever I've got in here now. Then you can check out my Steam Workshop page, which if you just search Bongo Hardwood you will find it on there. So the last thing we'll quickly do is have a look at night, and then I will leave you with some cinematic shots. So night time wise, it's hard to see with the moon, but just a few lights in the car park, street lamp types, and then some lights on the front, a little bit brighter there to show off the signs, make sure people can see the ticket booth, things like that, and then some lights going along this main area there. The last thing is this little bit. So the toilets, I decided that they would light up as to whether they are occupied or vacant. So if they're free, then they'll be green. If someone's in there, then they'll be red. So that is just a little extra thing that I thought I'd add, kind of modern looking. So yes, that is it for the first episode for Crimson Valley Zoo. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, as I said, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can keep up with me on Twitter as well if you search for Bongo Hardwood. All the links to everything will be in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I will leave you with some cinematic shots, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.